also say this. I don't think that my voice and my lips are out of sync. I really don't know why people say this, and this is supposed to be the intro, but like, I don't see it. I don't know if that's going to start a shit show in the comments, but like, I actually cannot see it. Like, I sit here and watch my videos like this, like, how is this out of sync? Like, I just can't see it. Maybe it's the way my lips move or something, but I can't see it. Maybe it's the way my lips move. I don't know. Maybe I talk funny. I just had to throw that out there. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Optic Scump here today, bringing you pretty much an explanation video. You could probably tell by the title of why we are going to be cutting our streams for scrims, and I personally am not going to be streaming at all until after COD XP. So I thought that I'd give you guys, why we're thinking that, and like why we got to that, because it's not like brain science or rocket science or whatever, people call it, but it's like, it is an issue, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. So don't take this the wrong way. A couple of these things pertain to the chat and what people say and the opinions of people that care about how we place. And trust me, we value the opinions of, people that care about how we play. But like, it's just sometimes the wording of it is just so poorly done. It seems like it's aggressive, but we know that it's not intended to be that way, but that's just how it comes off. And I'm not wearing lip gloss either. This is actually lip balm because my lips are a little bit chapped, so I'm not wearing lipstick. Had to get that one out of the way. But let me just give you guys a couple of our reasons. Starting with one, this is probably the biggest one, honestly, is the pick bans. Pick bans are very, very important strategy-wise. There are things and combinations of things that teams favor over other teams. And we want to start practicing with a couple different things, like a couple of different variables and different combinations of pick bans or bans, protects, whatever you want to call it. So that we can try and throw teams off, possibly on things that we aren't as good with. And, teams basically know a good amount of other teams' strategies, but like us not streaming, it won't be fresh in their heads. Like, they won't be able to just be like, oh shit, Optic does this. Like, they'll still know minor things that we do, but they're not going to know every single thing down to the T that we like to pick and ban. And there are things that we do differently from a team such like Envious or Rise. Every single team has different things that they like to get out of the way and play with or play, against or whatever. They're just, teams have different preferences, and us streaming our pick bans is like, teams aren't really going to be surprised whenever we ban something against them, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, that's Optic's normal ban. So that's my first thing. Second thing, I touched on it a little bit at the start, is the chat and the way that people talk in the chat. Obviously, there are ways around it. Subscriber-only mode usually is pretty good. You don't really get too many like trolls and stuff in there. You don't really get any, actually. But the thing is, like, it's not that subscriber only chat. Okay, hold on. Let me try to reevaluate what I'm saying. Subscriber only chat is good, but at the same time, you think about, okay, we can put it in subscriber only, but then it goes back to the pick bans and how that sort of does it. So like, subscriber only chat is usually good, but whenever it's not in sub only, it's just constant hate when we lose maps. I mean, online Call of Duty is pretty unforgiving. It's always been unforgiving. Like, if you're on a bad host, it's very, very difficult to beat a team that's on a good host, especially at this skill level. Connection is very, very important. And people will just, like, completely bash us, which that doesn't really bother us that much. I mean, it does, but it just, like, I feel like it stresses us out more than it pisses us off. And whenever we get stressed out because there's so many people talking down on us in the chat, it makes us more aggravated towards teammates. It doesn't let us listen as well. People are always saying dumb stuff that affects us. It's like, it's unwanted, and it really does like distract you whenever you're trying to focus on actually playing and getting better. Like, I don't know. I mean, sports practice, there are people watching, but they don't really get to say much. So I don't know. It's just difficult with the chat. And this is probably one of the biggest things. Our arguing gets misconstrued. I guess that's the best word for it. Like, people think that whenever we're arguing about what play was better than another play, people think that, like, we take that personally and we, like, get mad at each other. And I mean, sometimes it does get that way, but it usually doesn't. It's usually just, like, trying to make the team better, calling someone out on their mistakes so they don't do it again, and it makes the team overall better. You know, it's all a process of getting better as a team. Individually, you could be so freaking good. You could be the best player in the world by 3 times. And yeah, you can really help your team out, but you need your team to be on the same page. You need your team to have that chemistry. You need your team to really click. And that clicking, it happens because you get in arguments. You say you shouldn't have done this, and then you're like, oh, but I think that was the better play. And then you go on, you argue, get both your points, stuff like that. Whenever we do that, people just get like, so they're like, oh, they hate each other. They're not friends. It's like, really? Like, we're just trying to get better as a team so we have a better chance of winning XP. It's like, of course we're friends. It's like impossible to team with someone that you aren't friends with. Like, of course we're friends, but it's just like people take that and they do what they want with it, and then they just blow it out of proportion and make it seem like, oh, this is freaking horrible. They're not friends at all. They're just teammates, like stuff like that. It's just no. So you can sort of take what I just said with the chat and the arguing, not so much the pick bans, but the chat, the arguing. You could take that and just be like, if you eliminate those 2 things, practice gets like so much better instantly. Like, instantly better. It's so crazy because, like, when the streams aren't on, players don't feel like they get cornered. Like, they don't feel like, oh shit, every single person in the stream is coming at me. Now I need to yell at my teammates. Stuff like that, you know. Like, practice gets instantly better. People just communicate better. At least, I'm speaking for our team. People communicate better. You know, things are said in a better tone. It's just so much easier to get good practice whenever streams aren't on. And it's like, it's hard because streams for Call of Duty players are like a big chunk of their income. Like, if you're not getting first, second, third every single tournament, like, there isn't that much money in Call of Duty. So whenever players stream, like, that is a huge chunk of their income. And to turn off streams is like a big commitment for a lot of people. So the fact that we're turning off our streams, it should just convey the message that XP is a very, very important tournament, and it means a lot to us as a team and individually, every single player on our team. It means a lot, like, just turning off our streams in general. And last but not least, my final reason for us turning off the streams, it makes it infinitely easier to practice search and destroy. Like, you can't practice search and destroy as a team with streams on. It's like, why do you think that no Counter-Strike players ever stream their practice? Like, never. Respawn is a different story. A lot of people always ask, why don't you stream SND, like, practice? And it's because if you stream SND practice, it takes the other team, they could literally watch 1 minute probably total of your gameplay, and they know not all your setups, but they know, like, your main setups, like, just like that. And then when a team knows your main setups, it's like, okay, now we know their main setup. Let's find a weakness in that. You know, it's just like, we can't play SND on stream seriously ever. That's why whenever you see people playing wagers, SND tournaments, like, rarely it's with their full team. Like, very, very rarely it's with their full team, because, like I said, it's so easy for players to just pick up on every little thing that you're doing. It's like, it's just so simple to see what a team's strategies are, who does what for the team. It just, like, it makes practicing SND pretty much obsolete. It's actually probably hurting you that you're practicing SND on stream, because people are watching you, learning your strategies, learning your tendencies, learning everything that you like to do in search, and Search is a very unforgiving game type. You die once, you're out for the round. So that's why, like I said, go back to Counter-Strike. You never see Counter-Strike players ever streaming like their practice because you can't. It's just not smart. And that also answers a lot of people's questions like, why don't you guys ever play S&D on stream? Why don't you guys ever practice Search? And that's why. That's why. But that's going to do it for the video. I just wanted to explain why we're not streaming. We're taking this event very, very seriously. This is the biggest Call of Duty event of the year. It is a substantial amount of money, pride, a whole bunch of stuff on the line. So we're really taking these last 2 weeks seriously. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I mean, there wasn't really much to enjoy. I was just giving you guys a rundown of why we aren't streaming. But I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. And as always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, this is Ryan. It's going to be Flip.